Hello and welcome to the business interview here at France 24. Today we're at the Paris Air Show and we're speaking to the Chief Executive of Airbus, Mr. Tom Enders. Thanks very much indeed for speaking to us today.
Pleasure.
Let me ask you about your week so far, first of all. It's been pretty good. I can say that as an understatement, I suppose. You've made sales for more than $70 billion. You must feel like you're on top of the world at the moment.
Well, this is exactly how I described it in our wrapping up press conference a couple of hours ago. A pretty good week. Yes, this is a record week. We got 730 orders in this week, 730 aircraft. That's more than in any other air show before. And what is most important is that our new 320 family member, the 320, we call it Neo, with the new engines, that will get into service in 2015, really got a lot of traction. So we sold on this air show more than 600 of these Neos, and that makes more than 1,000 in the first 6 months after the launch of this program. This is spectacular, has never happened in the industry before.
Now, speaking of the A320neo, AirAsia, the Malaysian carrier, became the biggest customer of that aircraft type. It's picking up 200 such aircraft. Talk us through the terms of that deal that you've struck with AirAsia.
Well, there's nothing specific about it. I mean, 200 aircraft is the largest single order we ever got from an airline.
Did you have to do a lot of discounting to get that deal?
No, not at all, because the customers realize that we bring additional value to them due to the very fuel-effective, very efficient engines of the new 320.
But the catalog value of this deal would be more than $18 billion. Is that how much AirAsia is paying?
Well, the catalog prices are the catalog prices. We never really reveal what the real prices are. Let me be honest and say we have not paid catalog prices, as many other customers obviously don't. But what is important is that after the first order we got with them, that was 175 aircraft all in all, plus long-range aircraft. We really got their confidence. Their business is growing tremendously. Their franchises in Asia, and then they need these aircraft for growth.
Now, Tony Fernandez, the chief executive of AirAsia, he had a funny story to tell during the press conference when he announced this deal. He said that you as Airbus executives literally had to dance to close this deal. Tell us your side of that story.
Well, he pretty much got the right account. I mean, he's a real great guy. He's an entrepreneur. But he's a guy who looks after the money, he looks after the numbers, and is really tough to negotiate with. But on the other hand, he's also great to party with. And that is what we did when we first signed the MOU earlier this year.
That's interesting to see, of course, for us as business journalists. There's still personal relationships. They're a very important part of all of this.
I would say personal relationships are most important. You trust somebody or you don't. And if you don't trust him, you don't buy his aircraft.
Speaking of the A320neo, it's not due to fly until 2015. Will you be able to deliver all of these aircraft on time, on schedule?
Let's put it that way. One of the big advantages of that program is not only that with the new engines we will save 15 to 30% of the fuel burn, but that it is not a high-risk, all-new development program. We're basically taking the existing family, take minimal changes like strengthening the wings to put heavier engines on the wings, and that is it. So for the airlines, this program in terms of will Airbus perform, will they deliver the aircraft on time, is far more predictable than completely new development programs as we've seen in the past.
So we can be pretty certain there'll be no delays?
Absolutely. We need the engines. We're not making the engines, but we have great engine partners and I have every reason to believe that they will be able to deliver the engines.
What about the outlook for your wide-bodied aircraft? You haven't made as many sales on the wide-bodied side of things as on the single-aisle aircraft side of things. What do you say about that?
Well, that is not at all worrying. For instance, on our 330 program, which is today still the most efficient long-range aircraft in service, we have more than 3.5 years of backlog. For the new 350 that we start manufacturing right now, that we want to bring to the airlines end of 13, early 14, we're sold out until 2019, basically. So it's quite natural that there's a kind of a slump of orders at that point. Airlines wait then for the introduction of the aircraft, etc. The story is, in a nutshell, we have huge backlogs on each and every program, and the biggest challenge for Airbus in the coming years is to ramp up production in single aisle, in long range, 350, and of course the 380.
But there's not a risk that Airbus could become a one-trick pony, so to speak, with the A320 being the only real big seller?
Not at all. I mean, Airbus's portfolio today ranges from a 100-seater to an 800-seater, and nobody can feature such a broad and very effective portfolio.
What about the A350 program? You've had to announce some delays to that program. Some aircraft type will be delivered at a later date than you first promised. How embarrassing is that for you?
Well, it's not a good story for the airlines, obviously, but what is most important is that we can offer a more efficient aircraft in the future. Look, I mean...
You're talking here with the A350-1000.
The 350-1000, sorry, yes. We manufacture these aircraft 20, 30 years out. So as important it is to deliver them on schedule, it's more important to develop and manufacture the right aircraft, the most efficient aircraft. And we found that we could still improve the 350-1000. That'll be a delay roughly of 18 months. While I'm not proud of it, I think that's something, if airlines look at it, if they look at the performance, the additional performance they get, trade off that against some time, that'll work.
I hate to bring up this again, the delays word. Are there any worries on your mind that the A350-900, which will be the first aircraft type to come out of the A350 family, that will be delayed? Will that still be delivered on time?
Well, look, I mean, I'm always worried about that. In the aeronautic business, you always need to be worried about development programs because they are big risk. I said once, you know, the aviation industry is a wonderful business if it wasn't for the occasional development of new aircraft. This is where we're risking a lot of money, and our customers want us to risk a lot of money because they want ever more efficient aircraft. So, I mean, I'm quite confident today, but we are progressing with this development program, and we'll see by the end of the year and next year where we stand. Next year, end of next year, we want to fly it, and then we'll see where we are on this program.
Speaking of the end of the year, is the Paris Air Show just a temporary spike in sales for you, or are you going to be able to keep up sales for the rest of the year?
Well, we'll certainly try with our sales team to sell a few more aircraft before Christmas, but it will be pretty hard to replicate the success of the first half of the year in the second half of the year. And we're not trying to overdo it. I mean, we are realistic about it. What is most important for us is not the number of aircraft, it's the level of margins we get. And market share is important, but margin is more important. And we are selling these aircraft, particularly the 320s, the 330s, at very good margins.
All right, let's talk a little bit about competition with Boeing first and foremost. There's talk of Boeing coming up with a new aircraft, perhaps that it will be done by 2019, and that will be slightly bigger than the 737, around about 200 seats. If they do go ahead with that kind of project, what would you do?
Well, our decision will not change. If they really decide for an all-new aircraft program to deliver by 19, more likely 2021, I will send an email to my colleagues, Jim and Jim, and say good luck. Because they will spend at least 10 to 15 times as much money we spend on the Neo and get perhaps a marginal advantage out of it. No, we are well positioned with the Neo, the decision we've been taking, and we're very happy with that.
Are you worried about any of the products in the Boeing lineup at this moment? I'm thinking about perhaps about the 747-8, which is a direct competitor now to the A380.
Oh no, absolutely not. It's not a direct competitor. It's a much, principal design is a much older aircraft. It by far doesn't have the fuel burn, the efficiency of a 380. It doesn't have a capacity. I'm not worried about that. But principally, Boeing is a great company. I respect what they do. I respect their portfolio. And I think you will see quite some competition between the two for years to come.
All right, we have a lot of noise here at the Paris Air Show. We just had a fighter jet taking off. That's why we're hearing a lot of, as I say, engine noise in the background. Let's just finish up quickly with another trend that we've been seeing here at the air show, and that is competition from other companies than Boeing, such as from developing nations, from China and from Brazil and from Russia. Are you worried about that competition?
Well, there's a lot of talk about the end of a duopoly, and I believe eventually it will be, but I don't think this air show has seen already the end of a duopoly.
All right. I think we're going to have to wrap it up there because of the engine noise more than anything, as well as the timing. Thanks very much indeed, Mr. Enders, for speaking to us here at France 24. It's been a real pleasure. And with that, we're going to wrap up the program. Thanks to you for watching.